Yeah, man. Welcome everybody again, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Impact. I'm your host, Charles Champion, known on the streets as Jody, filling in for Big Chuck. He couldn't be here tonight, so I'm gonna step up and grip the wheel and take the lead on this one. I hope that's all right. You know, so who knows if I serve it, I might be up and coming. So without any further ado, man, tonight, man, we got a very impactful, powerful, special guest. This is a man of many hats and titles. For starters, he's a Reentry Life Coach for the Change Program. He's also the director for Family Shoulder to Shoulders. And that's not it. He's the vice president for the Black Prisoners Caucus community group. He's also serves as a peer-to-peer navigator. And last but not least, he's co-star of the renowned documentary film Since I've Been Down, produced and directed by the talented Miss Gilda Shepherd. The world is coming to know him as Willie Nobles, but I know him as Baby Mobile. What's happening with him?
Come on, man. How you doing, family? I'm just blessed to be here.
Good to have you, man.
Yes, it's most definitely, like you said, it's most definitely a blessing. I just want to give you your props, man, and just give my gratitude towards you just for even having this platform, right? So thank you as well, bro.
That's what's up, man. Appreciate that, man. You know, man, one of the main things that we're trying to do, man, we're just trying to raise awareness, you know what I'm saying, to this issue that we got going on in our community, man. And, you know, we all got caught up in it, you know what I mean? And those of us who've been caught up in it and have had that awakening, we're just trying to, wake everybody else up. So it's our part in giving back to the community. You know, that's a part of our motto, man. We want to help rebuild the community with the same ones who destroyed it, man. And so connecting with you is a blessing, man, because you're actually doing exactly just that. You know what I mean? Helping to rebuild the communities that we once had a part of destroying. You know?
Hey, man. That's it. It's like you said. I'm just proud to be able to be here and to be able to do that. We even had a young man. He was fighting for his life today, basically in juvenile court. We in there supporting him. He's 15. They trying to try him as an adult, and we understand what the difference of the numbers of years comes when you try someone as an adult or you leave them as a juvenile. So we're just trying to do our part, man, and like you said, try to come back and give back, especially since we did so much damage and we're part of the damage. So it'd be only right for us to come back and be able to do the right thing. And it's something that we want to do. It's from the heart.
Absolutely. And at the end of the day, I mean, who else can do it? Can't nobody else do it but us. You feel me? I mean, we got to be the ones to reach back, man, because truth be told, you know what I'm saying, we're a part of, blazing that trail for the pathway that the youngsters is following today. So with the wisdom and understanding that we got, you know what I'm saying, we got to take that, man, and reroute that and pass it on down, man, and hopefully turn this epidemic of this violence around. So that's what we're on tonight, man. So one of the main things, you know what I'm saying, I definitely want to get at for show is, man, we come from a long pathway of doing time, man. And, with that, you know what I'm saying, there was a lot of ups and downs, bumps and bruises along the way, and a lot of lessons that we had to learn. And so we had to internalize those lessons, man, and figure out how to put it in action. And you've been doing just that, man. So I first want to start off with tapping into a little bit of what you've been doing, man, since you've been down, man. If you could just, give our audience just a small glimpse into what you came up out of and what you walked into.
Man, shoot, especially if those that don't know my story. So like you said, I did 25 years. So I did 25 years on a 100-year sentence. So I went back and got resentenced, and they gave me an exceptional sentence downward. And in due part of what you said, the work I was doing inside, being one of the co-founders of Taking Education and Creating History, and being in three prisons now, having a university is major, and just being able to be involved with BPC inside and get back to those young men and see the difference and change on them and have them even have a chance upon release. And we was doing this just like you're doing, and I want to give you your credit for that, just without any accolades, right? You're doing this because this is coming from the heart. You're not doing this because you're coming home tomorrow, or you're doing this because things look bright. You're doing this because you're genuinely, sincerely doing it from the heart. So like I said, starting inside, doing the education, starting to teach and that work. is what helped me get here, being able to navigate out here and just transition all that from inside to doing it out here now. So everything that we was doing in there, we're still doing it out here, and we're just putting together and just on a bigger scale now, because now we're able to reach them youth, like you was talking about. Like they said, lived experience is a thing, right? They understand that lived experience is most definitely a thing, and can't no one reach them better than someone who was them. So that's
it's about time they recognize
it. They finally recognize it. They got it as a job description now. You can check the box on lived experience. You don't got to have a too much of a high education no more, because they understand it's not about that. They understand it's about people that's been doing the work and that's walked in their shoes and that's been lived in them experience and been harmed or been hurt or hurt through this environment, right? So we're just trying to do this stuff, man, and we're blessed to even be on platforms like this, and blessed for brothers to even be inside, and even inside too, just to touch on, like, even when I was coming through Stafford Creek, just to be able to come get involved with Rags to Riches, right? Like being able to know that God put him first, right? He always was a pivotal part in my movement as well. It wasn't just the work, it was most definitely God as well. He was a key component. So being able to come through there and then have a platform that you guys put together was amazing as well. Being able to not fear being being a man of God, because you guys laid the platform to where it's okay.
Absolutely, man. That's one of the things that we really try to pride ourselves in, man, is, making righteousness, walking with God, you know what I'm saying? Cool, you know what I mean? And it takes certain individuals to do that, man. I'm blessed to, be chosen by God, me and my guys, you know what I'm saying, to kind of lead that charge, man. It's definitely been a blessing, man. To you, man, with, since you've been out, man, you've been giving back to the community, kind of like what we started off talking about, having been one of the people that once was a part of helping destroy the community. Now you're help giving back, man. Tell us a little bit about, some of the work that you're doing specifically.
Okay, so I'll start with Black Prisoners Caucus Community Group, being the vice president. We're in the building stages of having different committees, legislative committees, youth committees, reintegration committees. So just being able to connect those work and still doing the work in different places, but putting all this stuff together to be able to navigate it in our own space and be able to do that. And then also being the director of Family Shoulders to Shoulders. So my guy, Eugene Youngblood, says we freed more people than 61-64. That's our statement out here, right? Because it's true. We're going to the courtrooms. We're showing up. We're writing letters of support. We also have meetings on Wednesdays, hub nights for families to navigate through the systems, because we understand what the system is. We understand that it's not built for us. We understand that. So we got to have our own tricks and our own trades to be able to navigate through it. So what we do is we have people, family members, lawyers, people come to call in. Even people from inside calling and we're letting them know how can we help you? What do you need? So basically, like writing letters of support, showing up in courtrooms, testifying on behalf of men that we know, let them know like he's part of us, he's part of this movement, everything that we are, he is, and you can tell by us in leading an example that we're really out here doing the work and rubbing elbows and talking to the people that we're really supposed to be talking to. So that, and then the change program, a life coach. So what I am is a life coach. So I'm wrap around services to my peers. I don't call them clients; they call them peers. I call them peers. It's our people fresh out, trying to navigate through the system. So they coming out, and some of them don't know how to do phones. Some of them don't know how to even just go to DOL and just get their driver's license. So we do all that. We'll take you there. I'll be in the Department of License for 4 hours with you. Whatever we got to do to make.
Okay. All right. So with that, let me jump in here real quick, because what you mentioned is that.
Go ahead.
We got I've been dealing with a brother right now, man. He got off of death row some years ago, and now he's finishing up a 30-year sentence, man, and he's on his way out the door, man, and he's been gone for 32. You know, so we've been trying to plug him in, man. But what are some of the what does the referral process look like? Because I might even got someone right now on the spot ready to refer to you.
Right here, right now. You just refer them. That's how easy and simple it is. It's not a drawn out process. I'll draw the process out when we connect. But other than that, we're not going to make it too hard on you. All you got to do is just connect them with me. We're going to connect him. We're going to connect him with the resources. We're going to make sure he has all the stuff he needs. And if I can't help him, I'm going to send him to another organization. That's because we're aligned with many organizations that are doing this work. Right now, reentry is the big deal because of all these cases and because of people coming home. So that's where they're throwing the dollars at. So there's plenty of organizations that's doing this work right now when it comes to the reentry.
Tell me a little bit about, you know what I'm saying, what it feels like, you know what I'm saying, to be on that side of the work, having walked, you know what I'm saying, the path that we walked so long.
Man, a blessing. That's why when I started, I said that I'm blessed, right? It's just a blessing is to every day be able to be away from the walls and when you think about it, you get sick, right? Because you know, like it wasn't meant for you. That wasn't part of your future, but you had to go through that to get where you're at. So I take it day by day, but it's a blessing. Like I cherish all the moments, right? I'm still cherishing them, and I've been out almost 3.
Yeah. Man, it's definitely inspiring, man. You know what I mean? Because when we hear about it and we see it, those of us who are still on this side of the fence, you know what I'm saying? You guys are an example to us, showing us like, man, we can do it. You know what I mean? When we see the success stories like that, man, it's inspiring, man. So, man, definitely, you know, keep doing what you're doing because sometimes you don't even know who you might be impacting. You know what I mean?
On. And that's the key. That's the key component right there. You never know who you impact, and keep doing the work. And we're just making it. We're making it easier for those that are like us to come home, right? That's what we are doing, because we understand that there are many men that we talk about on a regular that should be right here with us because they've done the work. They've been involved with everything on the side the right way, and they was part of the mitigating factors. They was part of youthfulness when we was all young and dumb and wild, right? And we understand. And they also was part of the social structure, right? It was part of their environment, right? There was part of all these key components that was put together to mess up who they really was and the potential they really are, but they're still shining through even behind the gates. And that's why we do the work for we can blaze that trail so we can bring everyone home. Our thing is #FreeThemAll.
Come on, that's what's up, man. Hey, so what you doing today, man, it's a striking, it's a sharp contrast, you know what I'm saying, to who you was years ago. You know what I mean? So one of the things that, you know, we'd like to highlight and, you know what I'm saying, talk about is that transformation, you know what I'm saying? What it was, what it is, and what you want it to be, you know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna go back a little bit, you know what I'm saying, to what it was, you know what I mean? Because when we talk about what it was, you know what I mean, it really just magnifies, you know what I'm saying, how profound the transformation is, you know what I mean? So I want to tap in a little bit to baby Momo, you know what I'm saying? I want to talk about Momo a little bit, man. You know what I mean? Okay. So I want you, you know what I'm saying, take you back a little bit. Now, for those of you, you know what I'm saying, who haven't seen the film, you know what I'm saying, if you get the opportunity, man, check it out. Documentary, Since I've Been Down. It really highlights, you know what I'm saying, just the beginning, you know what I'm saying, the present, and what it's going to look like in the future, man. And like I said, it co-starred my God, Momo, right here, you know what I mean? I want to start off by saying that, man, when I first seen the film, it was really surreal. I know that was for everybody that was in here that was watching it, you know what I mean? Because Miss Gilda Shepherd, she did such an amazing job with, you know what I'm saying, putting the pieces of the picture together. Yeah, you know, she did such an amazing job with putting the pieces of the picture together. She really just painted that picture. And so for a lot of us, just seeing that film, it really just took us back. You know what I mean? Not only did it take us back, but it magnified how far we've come. You know what I mean? So when you first started off, you know what I mean? For those who haven't seen the film, when you first started off, man, how did you get involved in the gang lifestyle? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Oh man, I think I got involved like the majority of us. I was put right in that situation, right? Coming from one of them homes that crack epidemic hit, especially for those in my generation. when that crack epidemic hit, the happy home was no longer the happy home, right? It turned all the way from that because people were smoking now, and that changed the whole. Yeah, that changed the whole different dynamics of what was going on in the house. So now for me, I'm seeing these people right here next to me that are still doing these things, and they're out here in this game, and that's what attracted me. That was more attracting than me going to school. So that's what led me into that life, and me doing what I was doing and being able to connect with the people that I was connecting with was because of that aspect of it. But like you said, I was bad. I was reckless. You know what I'm saying? I was naive. I was one of the ones that would come shoot up everything around the corner for no apparent reason. Those type of things, because I wasn't able to grasp nothing but that life at that moment.
Okay, hold on right quick. This phone about to hang up, but I'm gonna double back, and I'll be right back. Give me 1 second.
Okay. Yep.
All right.
The caller has hung up.
All right. We back at it.
Come on, man. That's exactly what I said. We back. Hey, before you start, I just want to tell you this. Our next one that we do, the remake to this, is gonna be in your studio when you home.
Come on, man. Talk about it, man. Speak it, man. Let it be so.
Come on, man.
For real.
Come on. So so now just remember that. So when you home and we in the studio, I'm be like, we already talked that. We already said it was here.
Hey, I'm gonna let the world know on everything. My guy said it first.
Come on, man. Come on.
My guy said it first, man. Straight up, man. Hey, without the lady interrupting us, you know what I'm saying, without the poor sound quality, you know what I'm saying, we're gonna have it real lit, man. It's gonna be dope, man, for sure. But get back to it. So, man, Momo.
Yeah.
The name, where'd it come from? You know what I'm saying? What section you from? Where you grew up at?
Boom. So I know if once, like you said, if you see the documentary, I'm from the hilltop. That's where I grew up. I was raised there, born there, right? My name came from one of my older partners, because back then, if you was young, you ain't just gonna have no name. That was before you can name yourself. That was when you really had to put some work in. You know what I'm saying? You really had to put some work in to get your name. So that's where my name came from. He liked how I was handling myself, and he did that. So yeah, I'm from the era when Tacoma was going crazy, and it was gangland, and it was a capital of the world for a minute, murder capital. So it was a rough time back then. It was a rough time. Yeah.
Yeah, and before I go any further, and I know that you have done this on many occasions, you know what I'm saying? We want to, you know what I'm saying, extend our apologies and remorse to the families of the victims, you know what I mean? Both his and mine, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? We can't talk about this without talking about, the harm that we've caused, you know what I'm saying, and acknowledging that. So I definitely want to take the time and opportunity to certainly acknowledge that, you know what I'm saying? I know that you're very remorseful and apologize for a lot of the hurt and harm that you caused, which is part of the reason why you do what you do now. You know what I'm saying?
Amen.
Part of it.
Yes.
Same thing for me too. You know what I'm saying? Right. And so ultimately, go ahead. My bad.
No, I was gonna agree with you wholeheartedly and be like, that's part of the reason of our why, right? Our why is because we know we've done wrong, and we understood like that was the most stupidest and most dumbest thing we ever did in our life. And that's why we are so remorseful, and that's why I do the work I do every day, and think about that, and think about him every day, and try to get back to make sure someone can help someone to stop someone from doing what that happened, right? Just like you do, and how many lives that you're touching from in there and stopping many things from happening, right? And like you said, you're remorseful. You understand now. You're no longer thinking with that immaturity mindset of you don't care about nothing. That you don't care about anything, right? Now you've been thinking about this your whole life, and it's not because, and for me, I always told me it wasn't just because of the time, because I was supposed to get the time. That was part of my initiation from a young kid. They said you're either going to be dead or in prison. So I got what I was supposed to get, right? So I told him it's more about the harm I've done. That's what we live with. So yeah, I'm most definitely remorseful. We want to most definitely send a shout out to him. That's why we do it every day.
Absolutely. So, we're young and reckless, doing the things that we was doing to try to earn a name for ourselves, trying to be, loved and accepted, because that's a part of the reason why we turned to the streets too. That's a part of it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So wanting to show that, I am somebody and I'm worth, being cared for, I'm worth being loved, you know what I mean? And so in the midst of that, being taught the way that we was taught, it led you to, 100-year sentence. You know what I mean? Amen. So, coming into the system, I know in the beginning, a lot of us, we pretty much, was still on that same path, going into the penitentiary, I still am who I am, and I still did some of the things that I did, so I got to stand on that, you know what I mean? But at what point did the transformation or the turning point come for you?
For me, it came from my last IMU stints. Right, my last IMU stint, I was on one of them IMUs. I think it was probably for like a cell phone or something. And I was in there, and I think it was like a 12, 14-month program. I'm walking around in this city, pacing into myself, and I keep telling myself, why do I keep doing stupid things to myself over and over again, and again and again and again? And it gave me a time, and not only that was the beginning of the conversation, but it gave me a time to reflect on all the things in my past and all the things that I want to happen. And do I want this to keep happening to my life? Right. And for me, it was a reflection. But now as we come together and we understand these studies and these laws, and we're fighting for these youth, and we understand that it was really just a part of them factors of me changing into adulthood, right? No longer being a kid. And some are sooner than later, but that's what it is. It was about 10 years into my sentence when I was about 20-something, 25, 26 or something like that. And it was one of the moments that it was changing for me. So it was just, like you said, going into the system, I was still doing the same things, trying to get over on the system, trying to do the things, still not caring, still having no fears and worries in the world. And then that last thing gave me time to reflect and just, where do I want my life to be? And just understanding, like, this is it. I need change. I need something different, because I keep getting the same thing. I'm going to keep getting.
Right. Man, it's funny, man. My story is similar, you know what I mean? And isolation, man, has a funny way, man, of making you take a second look at your life, you know what I mean? For me personally, man, and because of my experience, I spent 4 years in isolation, 23 and 1, IMU in the hole, you know what I'm saying? And on one hand, it was the worst thing that ever happened to me, right? Mm-hmm. But then on the other hand, I can't deny the fact, too, that it was also really the most needed thing that happened to me, because it was there in that space, you know what I'm saying, that I began to really take a second look at life and you know what I'm saying, start thinking about the things that I was doing in the direction that my life was headed, you know what I mean? And so, I always tell people, man, I think, I know it ain't for everybody, but shoot, man, I think everybody should take a trip, man, there, because, you know, it really helps you evaluate things, man, and it sounds that's what happened with you.
Yeah, it did. 100%. It's one thing that isolation will do. It'll make you evaluate yourself, and it'll make you see who yourself is. And as some people, it breaks them, right? It breaks them, and they can't handle it. But the ones that can emotionally take it, it changes for them. It changes like, yeah, I can't keep doing this stuff, and you just keep because you're just in there by yourself, and you get you don't have your peers around you. You don't have nothing to really occupy your time. You don't have nothing to. Yeah, exactly. You don't have none of those little this frivolous stuff around you to worry about anything but yourself.
Yeah. And some of us, man, we need that sometimes, man. Sometimes we need to be, you know what I'm saying, pulled out of our environment, man, and away from, you know what I'm saying, the social pressures, you know what I'm saying, the homies, you know what I mean, everything that the politics and everything that's just going around, and just having that opportunity to really just, hold on, man, let me take a look at this, man, without no other influence, you know what I'm saying, other than my thoughts. And for me personally, you know what I'm saying, it was life changing for me for that reason, and also, you know what I'm saying, that's where I had my encounter with God, you know. In that cell by myself, man. He met me right where I was at, man, and he told me that he got me. You know what I mean? And I started realizing that, you know, man, he's been there for me the whole time, and I ain't even know it. You know what I mean? When I wasn't even serving him or nothing, but little did I know, he had a purpose for me. He had a call. He had a calling on my life, and I had no idea. You know what I mean? I had people coming in my life like I'm sure you have, telling me, you know what I'm saying, turn my life over to God, you know what I'm saying? But my mind was so wrapped up in the streets, like I couldn't internalize it. I couldn't understand that. And it wasn't until, you know what I'm saying, I was alone in that way that, you know what I'm saying, he came to me, man, and he met me, he revealed himself to me, man, and I've been chasing after him ever since, man.
Ever since. Because he works in mysterious ways. He works in the ways that you may not want him to work, but he works. Even just to throw you just a little bit too. Like when I was going through trial and I was, you know, praying like, God, come on, this ain't right, man. I shouldn't go through this. He knew I wasn't ready. So every time I was praying, he was like, okay. And they kept coming and they kept saying, okay, take this 27, take this 27, take this 27, right? So I didn't take the 27. So I went and got the 100. But just how he works and how God works and how the universe works and how he's just so powerful. Like you said, even for me, like seeing him in the cell, in the hole, he came and visited me plenty of times as well. But just after the sentence that was handed down to me on the back end of it, it was the 27.
Yeah. From the
you hear me? It was the 27 from the jump. That's how God worked. He knew I needed that 27.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, man, some of us was hard-headed enough that, you know, we needed to run up against that brick wall like that and bump our head because we were so hard-headed. There was nothing else that was really going to get our attention the way that it was supposed to. So let me get this to this. So, man, you begin to make that transformation, man, after that stint, that last stint in IMU, you know what I mean? What was the road like, you know what I'm saying? When, as you began to, you know what I'm saying, make that transformation, you began to switch lanes. What was that like? What type of challenges did you face? What type of resistance did you face?
Oh man, it was challenging, and it was challenging not more of the people around me. It was more challenging of myself, because even with the transformation, I still was tippy toeing. I have one in and one out. Right, so I was transforming, but I wasn't all the way transformed. So what transformed me is getting into the work that we was getting into inside the Black Prisoners Caucus, the TEACH program, being able to help and reach people and see that I am more than what I even imagined of myself to be, and I can help those around me. So it was the community coming in, them showing up and telling us that they need us out there, that they need us to support these kids, help these kids inside so they don't go out here and do this stuff that they're doing out here. So that was the part that was the challenging for me at first, was me playing around, because everyone that I was already around in the community in prison already understood who I was, right? That like they wasn't going to say nothing about what I'm doing, because I'm gonna tell them like, you need to get on with this. This is the right thing to get on with. And it wasn't no backlash or no like, oh, you can't do that, because we didn't put too much work in for that, right? So it was more. So it was more like, Okay, well, you can get on or you don't have to get on. You can be over there, I'll be over here. It doesn't matter. So it was more for me was the challenging part of the transformation. And then when I finally seen the stuff that it was doing and helping and the people, and I really believed, then it took it beyond. And then that's when I just transformed.
Yeah, man, that's what's up, man. That's what's up, man. So when by the time you came here, you know what I mean? You wasn't here when we first got Filthy Rags off the ground. You know what I mean? You actually came in at the tail end of it just before the pandemic. You know what I mean? And so we started Filthy Rags Outreach out on the yard, man. And how it started was just simply, you know, me and my founder, you know what I'm saying, Alfonso Bill, aka Fat Cuz, you know what I mean?
Come
you know,
on.
we go on the
My
church
boy,
and stuff.
man.
Come on, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We go on the church and stuff, you know what I'm saying? And when we're up in the church, you know what I'm saying, we don't see nobody in there that's like us, that come from our walk of life. So, but at the same time, we know that, man, we ain't the only ones that God been calling out of the lifestyle to the light. You know what I'm saying? Where they at? You know what I'm saying? So we made a point, man, to just start seeking out other people, you know what I'm saying, who God had been working on that come from our walk of life, man. And we snatched up a few key individuals, LG, you know what I'm saying, from your section. You know what I'm saying? We snatched up Nut. You know what I'm saying? We snatched up Big Ben. You know what I mean? When Juice got here, we put Juice on. You know, Sarah Walren. You know, we put him on. And we strategically, you know what I'm saying, handpicked key influential individuals from every section. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times, you know what I'm saying, it takes somebody from your section, you know what I'm saying, to influence you to make a change and a difference, you know what I'm saying? So we got a cat from the hilltop, you know what I'm saying? We got a cat from the east side. We got a cat from Seattle, you know what I'm saying, from Tacoma, Crip, Blood, G's, all the stuff, you know what I mean? And we just started meeting out on the yard, you know what I'm saying, just having conversations around change, transformation, you know what I mean, around Christ, because that was the thing that united us initial individuals, what we call the core members. And, you know, after a while, we started meeting out there, and then other cats just started coming to the fence line with us. And they like, man, what you guys talking about, man? We over here talking about God, you know what I'm saying? We talking about the lifestyle we came from and how we need to change, and this is what we own, you know what I mean? And so we started having strategic conversations about that to the point where, man, it just started growing. And then one day we out there, we like 30 deep out there. They thought somebody in the tower had called the shift sergeant and was like, hey, man, this guy's back here having a gang meeting. Yeah, they thought we was having a whole gang meeting, you know what I'm saying? Because we got both sides of the fence, you know what I'm saying? We meeting at the fence. And, you know, the sergeant and a few other officers, like the other officers came back there. They like, hey, man, we got a call in the tower, man, so you guys having, what you guys doing out here? And we like, man, we on some positive stuff, man. We ain't doing nothing, you know what I'm saying? And when he looked in the crowd and he seen, you know what I'm saying, key individuals that he know that's not on that, you know what I'm saying? He's like, okay, this can't be no gang meeting if you guys is here, myself, Fonz, you know what I'm saying, Ill, you know what I mean? And then a couple cats whipped out their Bible and it's like, oh, you know what, man, these guys ain't back here doing that. They talk. He said, man, leave these guys alone. He told it, leave us alone, you know what I'm saying? And boom, they did. And so then after that, you know what I mean, chaplain gets word of what we doing, hears about us, like, hey, man, you know what I'm saying, I want to, you know what I'm saying, give you guys a space to be able to meet, you know what I mean? And so now all the units can come, because before it was just a couple of units that was able to come, just the units that we had yard with on those days. So now we got a space up in the P building, in the education building, and we got 20 to 30 individuals in there from all different backgrounds, Crips, Bloods, G's, Seattle, Tacoma, Hilltop, you know what I'm saying, East Side, South End, Central District, West Seattle, everywhere, you know what I mean, all coming in this space. Ain't nobody beefing, everybody talking about, you know what I'm saying, growth, change, and development, you know what I mean? So by the time you got here, that was in full swing. So when you came here and we hear everything that God had been doing in your life and where you was at, you know, Fat Cuz came and hollered at you like, hey, Momo, you know what I'm saying? Man, come in here and share the story with these guys so they can hear that, you know what I mean? Because when they see an individual like yourself, you know what I'm saying, being able to do and switch lanes the way that you did it, you know what I mean? It's going to be inspiring for them. And sometimes, you know what I'm saying, they don't know what they need until they hear it. So Fonz invited you up, man. Do you remember about that time? We had you a guest speaker?
I remember. I remember. Come on, I was so, yeah, it was just being able to be in a space like that for me was, like you said, it was amazing because there was no spaces like that for church, right? There was no places
Yeah.
like that for church. And it was more than church. Like, you're going to get the word, but you're also going to get some wisdom. You're also going to get some knowledge. You're going to get more than just what you think you're going to get at a church, because you was trying to give more than that. And another thing that always stuck out to me is, I don't care where I was at, that cat, if he seen me anywhere in any yard, anywhere, he was going to sneak a Bible verse in my hand. He was going to give me a Bible verse and say, yeah, go back and read this one. Right. And he had the whole thing on it. So those things was always, it stuck with me too. Like, he was on me, like, yeah, I see you. Come here, come this way. Get over here, right? But it was just a blessing just to be able to come in there and just to see what you guys put together just from scratch. I didn't see it from scratch, but just to know that they even gave you a building. I know how hard it is, especially when we was doing starting programs like that. Being able to get a space is, they really want to watch you and see what's going on and know that you're really doing good things. So yeah, it was cool because everyone was in there. Anyone who was in there it was all types of people in there who you wouldn't think was in there, but they was in there coming to just see the word. So it was beautiful, bro.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I'm gonna hold you up for just a few more minutes, man, and then we're gonna cap this off and close it out, man. So I'll be right back. Give me one moment.
Come on.
Yeah, man. We back at it. So, man, during the intermission, man, my mind just kind of went back to that time, man, and I was thinking about the dynamic, you know what I'm saying, of the space that we had, man, and just the dynamic in terms of, we're giving out, we're sharing, you know what I'm saying, lessons of wisdom. We're sharing life lessons, and you know what I'm saying, you have a situation where not only do you have the older, you know what I'm saying, learning from the young learning from the older, you know what I'm saying, we have a situation where you got, you know what I'm saying, a blood receiving some insight from a crip. You know what I mean? Got a situation where, you know what I'm saying, where a G is looking at, you know what I'm saying, a crip and like, hey man, this is how I did it. You know what I mean? This is how I came along. And when you was able to share that story, you know what I'm saying, you got individuals that's talking about, you know what I'm saying, what they got out of that, you know what I'm saying, which they probably wouldn't even have gotten without that space, because not only, you know what I'm saying, not only the individual is not necessarily having these type of conversations, you know what I mean, sometimes, you know what I'm saying, they're not even hanging out. You know what I mean? But for the sake of this space, you got individuals that's coming together, you know what I mean? And then they're getting to know each other. So now when I see you, it's like, what's up? You know what I'm saying? I remember what you taught me, or what you said that day I learned. You know what I mean? So it's really a beautiful dynamic, and which is part of the reason why, you know, we like, hey, bro, you got to share your story. You know what I mean? Help these individuals see that it can be done, you know?
Come on. And just give hope, give hope to those. And then even like we seen, like it's, and just how it's been a chain reaction, how people just been coming home, right? Like just even having that hope, and even maybe like, I'm not even gonna get in trouble. I'm gonna stay out of the way, right? Now I'm staying out the way, right? That gives them action at coming home. So that all plays together, and you having that space for them to even have that type of, even for them to even get a story like that, it doesn't happen inside, right? Or unless you're in the yard, or unless you're your partner, because you ain't gonna be too much talking to someone else about something that's not about their business, if it wasn't for that space. So yeah, it's big things. I know that you got big things ahead of you. I'm proud of you. You know what I'm saying? You can stay down. You most definitely been connected to the higher power, and you have not buzzed, and you've been doing your thing, and I respect that. And I just want to say thank you, man, and continue to keep doing the great things you're doing, because you got a cause.
Yeah, man. Thank you, man. All praise be to God, man. You know, he's the reason why I am the way I am, man, and why I push in the way I do, in the lane that I am, man. And so, speaking of that, man, you know what I'm saying, before we close it out, man, that's exactly what I wanted to leave off on, man. I wanted to leave off on the word. So, you know what I'm saying, the other night when I tapped in with you in preparation of this, man, I had told you that Fonz had came up to me, and he was like, hey, man, make sure that, you know what I'm saying, when you topping it with him, make sure you talk to him about Isaiah chapter 6. And I said, okay, Isaiah chapter 6. He said, yeah, man, that's one of his favorite passages and stuff. Now, I don't even know how he know that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what made him remember that, but he came to me, you know what I'm saying? And so I'm like, hey, bro, he brought up the chapter 6. And when I mentioned it to you, you know what I'm saying, he was like, And it was funny because I could almost see your face when you said what you said. I was cracking up. And, so, you know, it hits you a certain type of way, man. So before I ask you to respond to that, man, and tell us a little bit about that, I'm gonna read Isaiah chapter 6, 1-8 for you real quick. It says, in the year that King Uzziah died, I saw the Lord sitting on a throne, high and lifted up, and the train of his robe filled the temple. Above it stood seraphim. Each one had 6 wings. With 2 he covered his face, with 2 he covered his feet, and with 2 he flew. And one cried to another and said, Holy, holy, holy is Yahweh of hosts. Excuse me. The whole earth is full of his glory. And the posts of the door were shaken by the voice of him who cried out, and the house was filled with smoke. So I said, Isaiah, woe is me, for I am undone, because I am a man of unclean lips, and I dwell in the midst of a people of unclean lips. For my eyes have seen the King, the Lord of hosts. So what was it about that passage, man, that one made you respond the way that you responded? It hit you in a certain type of way, but why is this one of your favorite passages? Tell me a little bit about that.
I think it was so small, but it was so big for me. The reason of that passage is because I was always telling people, I was telling them that Willie has died. I mean, baby Momo has died in the prison, and Willie is walking out.
Come on.
So if you hear the passage, one is gone, and you see they put the feathers over the thing and when the air. So it was basically saying that getting rid of all of what I was, and now I am who I am, and because I've seen him.
Yeah, that's powerful, man. That's powerful.
Yeah, and that was hard, and that's hard to get rid of him. It was hard to get rid of him because he still lies in there. So it's hard to.
Man, I fight with Baby Jody every day. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. So when that passage, it always reminds me, let him go.
Yeah.
Let him stay gone. Come on. So yeah, that's what it was. That was that passage, and we always pop it about that. Where he always talks like, out of all the passages, why you like this one? Because of the wordplay on there. It was different.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey man, it's certainly been a pleasure, man. It's been a pleasure to top it with you, man. Have you on the show, man. For anybody that, you know what I'm saying, not that familiar, man, it's Filthy Rags Outreach, you know what I'm saying, presents the Impact. Like I said, I'm Charles Champion, aka Jody, filling in for the big fella, Big Chuck. He ain't here tonight. And man, also we want to say thank you to everybody that's listening. You know what I mean? Appreciate that. You know, share it. You know what I'm saying? Tell a friend. You know what I mean? And if you guys know anybody that also want to be able to volunteer their time, you know what I mean, to help us keep a program like this going, especially on the inside, man. We need it, man, you know what I mean? So we want to send that invitation out here. And you ain't got to know nothing about the street. You ain't even got to know nothing about the street and gang lifestyle, you know what I mean? Just be a volunteer, man, and come into this space with us and learn with us, you know what I'm saying, grow with us, man, and help everybody else grow. Because the last thing that we want to do, man, is for the individuals that are here to get out with the same mindset that they came in here with, man, and that's what we're trying to change, man. So thank you again to everybody, man. Willie Noble, man, appreciate you, man. Keep doing the work that you're doing, right, boy.
Come on, man. Thank you, bro. Keep doing what you're doing, boy. Love.
Yep, love, no.
All right.